ChatGPT launched in 2022. Today it spends over $700,000 per day to keep its servers running. More interestingly, and brace yourself, they are going to be earning $3 billion in 2024 after spending a massive $8 billion. So they are in a hole of $5 billion as of the end of 2024. Now, a company like OpenAI and Microsoft can afford to drop $5 billion in the hole and hope to get some returns. But can enterprises have a way with it? Can enterprise really make money with AI? So the big question is, can AI deliver positive return on investments? Let's talk about it in today's video. Hi, my name is Saurabh, and on this channel, I am attempting to help youngsters and newcomers in the industry understand about cutting edge technologies. So going back to the topic of AI investments and can enterprises deliver a positive return on investment? The number one challenge remains that AI requires heavy investments upfront. All the chips which are required, the LLM models which have to run, they're very, very resource intensive. So per unit cost of running an LLM or a large language model is about 10 times more than running a regular search. Even if you take a look at the data lake and the data science platforms, I have worked personally on several of such programs across AWS and Azure platforms. These solutions, when you start deploying, picking up services, building data lakes, building the entire end-to-end flow, and think of realizing a use case, these things itself can be very expensive. I read a recent survey on McKinsey also, and this has been happening for the last 10 years or so as data lakes have evolved. The cost of even these type of solutions, which are available services in the market where the purpose is very clear, people know how to do it, the cost of these could still be an average of $2 million. McKinsey also predicts that when enterprises look at standing up a brand new AI-led program, which means building an AI program which includes training of the model over large sets of data, that cost at an average is about $10 million. So the cost is prohibitive, cost is extremely high. It is one of those big reasons why companies would think that, hey, where is my return on investment on all of this? Yes, AI is cool, AI is great, everybody wants to be building AI solutions, everybody thinks this can differentiate their business in the industry, in the marketplace, but where is the return on investment? What kind of returns can I expect? What is the time frame to realize these returns? Those are some very important big questions which enterprises are asking. The answers to those questions are unfortunately very difficult to arrive at. I want to show an example of Microsoft. I have been focused and thinking on this. I have been to the Microsoft campus. I've seen some of their latest technology demos at their campus, working with some of their engineers. So the big question I've always asked myself is, how are some of these large companies going to be recouping their investment dollars? What can we learn from there? What can a regular customer, and I consult with enterprise customers from mid-size to large customers, what can they learn from some of those experiences, or what should their path be? So let's take an example or take a look at what Microsoft is doing. All of us know, and hopefully if you don't, this is a good opportunity to talk about it. Microsoft made a $10 billion commitment in OpenAI in the early 2023. OpenAI had started in 2022, and Microsoft became one of their major investors upfront. And even in 2023, Microsoft actually committed over $40 billion in capex. This has gone across several services. So what they're doing is, one, they're putting this strategy of cloud services expansion. So their investments in AI is going to be proliferated and made available through all the cloud services. One of their flagship products, which has come out and is now fully integrated into O365 and Microsoft 365, is called the Copilot, which is basically an intelligent Copilot right within the business application suite. Third major area where they are going to be expecting returns out of is the advertising and search. They have also used the OpenAI partnership and licensing. As we know, ChatGPT was the basis of what they built in Copilot. Similarly, being able to make available ChatGPT's pro models and driving licensing costs from that, and driving revenue through that, that is another avenue for them. They're also focused on building consumer and enterprise applications. So they at least have some degree of plan. But the bigger thing for Microsoft is that they are looking at the long-term market leadership, which they can acquire by making these types of investments. That is the play for Microsoft. Learning is that, hey, Microsoft can afford, they being such a large company, they can afford to take these type of bets, thinking of 10-year, 15-year time frames, thinking of really wide market areas, and thinking of hundreds and thousands of customers that they have. A regular enterprise customer doesn't have that type of opportunity. They don't have those type of dollars to throw and hope that they can get results. So they're often looking at ways on, how do they maximize their return on investment. Yes, given CIOs know that every bet they're going to be putting their money into is not going to give them results. In fact, the whole idea, if you look at how Amazon has developed products, Jeff Bezos talks about this, that they take so many bets, and then one of those bets will give them results in multiples, right? So that's the strategy, and most of the smart CIOs and CISOs know about this. So they are not blindly either putting millions of dollars, or they are also not shying away from putting some investments in all the emerging technologies, because they don't know where the results are going to be coming from. So what's the right path for companies to invest their dollars and get positive return on investments? Let's look at some options. My number one advice or suggestion for CIOs and CISOs like that is, for the best ROI, use solutions where companies have heavily invested themselves. They have actually made these investments, which means they've taken a huge bet, huge risk by investing those dollars. When you leverage those solutions, you get to dip your toes without taking enormous amounts of risk. So for example, Google Workspaces has a ton of AI solutioning built in it. The classic case being, and I'm a huge fan of Microsoft Copilot suite. Right within the Microsoft Office applications, power of AI is readily available. There's no implementation costs. There's no soak-in time. It just starts to function as soon as you deploy the licenses. And the cost is actually really small, especially when you contrast the AI program and their investments. The second strategy would be where companies identify a very simple, clear use case for their industry. You could be from a financial services place, so you think of detection of fraud. You might be thinking in a telecommunication space on how do you reduce churn. There could be specific use cases you pick up, and you define a clear entry criteria, you define a clear exit criteria, take the minimal viable product approach. That's the way to invest some money in some of the initial POCs you want to launch, instead of going big bang. And third approach is a big bang approach, which is going down the path of large transformation projects, taking high risks. This is something which Microsoft has themselves done when they made huge investments in Copilot and OpenAI. They were taking a huge bet, and obviously huge bets come with high amounts of risk. But that's something for someone like Microsoft or Facebook's to do. For a regular enterprise company, couple of $1 billion in revenue, very high risk proposition, not the best way to go about it. Even if you read about the brands like Yum Brands, if you read their CIO and how they have adopted AI solutions and their super app, they've actually focused and kept a huge vigilance on costs. So they've taken few projects, they've POC'd those projects in some of the stores. Then they have found the next level of stores where these POCs are going to get rolled out, and they will collect feedback. Alongside, they have kept a very tight watch on the costs of these projects. And as they have shown success, or at least their measures of success have been met, then they are scaling some of these solutions further. So that's the approach. The high risk approach is left for very large organizations who have the appetite to try out massive projects. But for most enterprise customers, most CIOs, it makes sense to, number one, go with companies who've already made those bets, who've built those solutions. Number two, build solutions which could be focused on your industry, focused on a department, but have a very clear entry and exit criteria. You're focusing a minimal viable project. You can quickly try something out, collect feedback from business, from your end users, and then embed that into the overall solution. Those are the two most important ways to go about building positive AI transformation projects. Well, that's it for now. Again, if you have any thoughts and suggestions, drop in the comments box, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.